Good evening and welcome to Orient Live. The O's are back in action this evening as they travel to Burton Albion and they're on the hunt for a crucial 3 points to keep themselves in that pack hunting for the playoffs. I'm Ollie Buck and I'm delighted to be joined in the studio this evening by Jabo Abire and Joe Widdowson, and of course a quick big wink and a kiss to all the Orient fans around the globe who are the best on the planet. And it's the business end of the season now, Joe.
Yeah, that's it. It's, you know, you said it there. It's all about results. You know, ticking off victories, picking up 3 points, or draws. But yeah, it's that stage of the season now where you just, performances to an extent go out the window, and it's just about getting the job done and trying to climb that table to, see how high we can finish.
Back-to-back wins now for the O's. We need to build on that, and really, there's no room for not picking up points. If we want to really have a say in this playoff race, we're going to need to win near enough every point that's available.
Yeah, I think so, but it's a good position to be in. It's quite nice going into the remaining games, knowing that all you want is victories, chalk it off, next one victory, chalk it off, and then it gives that good momentum. And you want to be in that crux, you want to be in that fight, and we're at a good place there. Although we haven't picked up great results against Burton in recent times, but they're a team that's languishing, scrapping for the lives. We're on the ascendancy now with back-to-back wins. There's no perfect time to play them.
Well, they are scrapping for their lives. Just a very quick word on them before we move on, but they are 6 points away from safety with a game in hand, though. So as much as we need to win every game, they need to win every game.
Yeah, but look, I think it's irrelevant what's going on with them. I think if we want to be involved in that playoff conversation, then this is a game that you just have to go and win. Really, I think where they are in the league and where we are and want to aspire to get to, you just have to go and do whatever it takes. But you come away with 3 points, I think, and I'm sure, Rich will be saying, I know now in hindsight, I'm sure players, supporters looking back, if we hadn't gone on that difficult run of defeats, where would we be? But we are where we are, still in with a good chance, a lot to play for still. So yeah, it's going to need a convincing victory tonight.
Better to be chasing the points for playoffs than for relegation, eh? So it's all on the O's to put on a show tonight, and we caught up with Paul Terry ahead of this evening's fixture to hear his thoughts. So let's hear him now.
PT, Burton to come on Tuesday night, but first off, if we look back to Thursday, a really important win against Stevenage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Stevenage is never an easy team to play, but at this stage of the season, it's just about getting the result, and I think that's exactly what we've done. Wasn't our best performance, but we found a way to go and win the game, and that was what was important.
Not the easiest game on the eye, and you said it wasn't our best performance against Blackpool. It probably wasn't the best we played either, but it's back-to-back wins now, so what does that tell you about the group?
It just shows we've got some character in it. We needed something to get us out of the run we was on. So it didn't matter how we got the results. It was just about getting them. And like you say, Blackpool and Stevenage now. But now we've slowly got to find our feet a little bit more now and build on them two performances, or two results, should I say, not performances, and take that into the Burton game.
How pleasing is it for you as staff? Obviously you'd rather us playing free-flowing football and winning big, but must be pleasing in a lot of ways to see us win ugly.
Well, it is and it ain't. Like you say, you want to play the way the gaffer wants us to play. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when that doesn't happen, it ain't great. But like I say, we've got 8 games left, and it's just about. Sometimes it ain't always about the performance; it's about the result. And can we keep ourselves in touching distance with the playoff pack?
Right then, without much further ado, let's jump in and take a look and see how the O's are shaping up for tonight's clash. And starting in goal is the number 24, it's Josh Keeley. Across the back line, wearing that silver kit tonight, is Jack Curry at left back with Sean Clare on the opposite side of defence. Dan Happy returns from injury to partner Romani Edmonds-Green in the centre-back positions, and Jordan Brown is alongside the skipper Darren Pratley. Ahead of them too is Darlang Josemi, Jamie Donnelly and Dan Adjie, and then leading the line is Charlie Kelman. And on the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, Brandon Cooper, Sonny Perkins, Azim Abdullahi, Don Ball, Dylan Markande and Ollie O'Neill. So a big welcome return to Dan Happy. Not that anyone who's been deputising there has done a bad job, but seeing Dan Happy back on the team sheet is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Always. I think you always like to see his name on the team sheet. I think it's been a weird bit of a strange season for Dan because he's done really, really well at times. Been really good, but he had these picked up these injuries sporadically and missed games. But I think every time he seems to return from injury, he slots in like he's not been away, and he's you know what you get from Dan. He's really I think accomplished at the level now. Really, really dominant. Experienced now. And I'm expecting him to come in, and play like he's never left today, and be nice and solid back there.
Absolutely. Whilst he wasn't an injury doubt, Charlie Coleman did come off last Thursday against Stevenage. He looked to be holding his hamstring, but thank the powers that be, he starts tonight, and he probably even with one hamstring he could be finding the back of the net the form he's in.
Yeah, he really is, and when you get into that groove, and it's crucial now as well because he's going to be so important for us to in that run in to try and get into the playoffs and keep getting those goals, keep getting those victories is going to be paramount. But to have him in the team and the form he's in, like his goal on Thursday, is just it just shows someone in that form just latch onto things. You just alert, you just become sharper. He's in that groove. He's got the juice. I'm happy that he's out there.
Absolutely. Well, they're the two kind of positives of being included from injury. But talking on the whole, it's been a bit of a weird fixture schedule. What with the Saturday game being rearranged to the Thursday, we're maybe a little bit out of sync in a sense of how training's looking. But we haven't played on Saturday, so we're maybe a little bit fresher than the rest. But Richie's had a good chance to kind of maybe play it out with his first 11 here.
Yeah, I think that little break over the weekend would be nice. I think it has been slightly strange with the schedule, but it's just where we've picked up points in the last two games. It's just another opportunity to keep that kind of snowballing, and we need to kind of go on a similar sort of run that we did at the start of the year, and just keep chalking off games and picking up points, and hopefully we can continue doing that tonight.
Absolutely, and let's talk about them. We've already touched on it, but from a goals perspective, goals win games, and whilst Charlie Cohen is in such fine form, it's that maybe attacking three behind them as well that are so crucial. And it was only one goal needed on Thursday, but we would have liked it to have maybe not have been as narrow. So some more goals tonight would be great, and a Burton defence is what we want to get at. Yeah,
definitely. But we've got the players up top that that can in one-on-one situations they can cause trouble. Got Donnelly who sees a pass and has got a great way to pass for through balls. So there's enough danger and agility up there to cause panic and cause trouble, and against a team that defensively are quite weak and low on confidence, and we need to capitalise on that today.
Absolutely. Burton have conceded 55 goals this season, which whilst might sound a lot, it's the least amount of goals out of any of the bottom six. So as far as kind of relegation teams go, it's not necessarily going to be a kind of free hit easy walk in the park, is it?
No, it's not, as the season edges towards the end, that I think, the situation they're in, it becomes that bit more desperate, and, I'm sure the message to the players will be like, look boys, you're playing to try and keep the club in the division, you're playing for your futures, and there is that added pressure, which I think it can go one of two ways, it can either really inspire them, and they can, just feel, kind of empowered to try and win and pick up points, or, they can just really crumble, and it's quite a fragile balance. So, hopefully we can catch them on a bad night tonight, and hopefully if we go ahead, then, their belief will kind of just ebb away.
And on the flip side of that, obviously we're in the opposite end of the table, so that pressure, whilst a good thing, do the games feel must win at this point? Do you have that in your mind at all? How do you get that pressure out of your head, really?
Yeah, I always think it's a nice pressure to have. You'd put it this way: you'd rather be in an Orient shirt trying to achieve something with a real positive objective than a Burton player, because playing to try and avoid relegation, scrapping, knowing you have to try and win, is horrible. You're constantly checking the table. What do we have to do? What are other people doing? I think Orient have done so well, especially after that real bad patch, to get themselves back into contention, and it's almost like a second chance of having that possibility of being able to do something special. So I just feel that it should really it should hopefully galvanise the players, just to give it everything, and I think it's also the manager's role, the staff's role, to try and relieve that pressure and not kind of, you know, let that expectation not be a burden on them. You know, it's a young group. I'm sure, you know, they're probably maybe up and down emotionally, you know, after like wins and defeats. But, you know, I think you just got to try and create that positive bubble. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, just encourage and say, look, boys, you know, we've got an opportunity to do something great. We've had a fantastic season up until now. You know, can we get over the line and maybe do something special?
We've almost got that underdog sort of story side to it as well. If you look at some of the other teams scrapping for it, you know, your Bolton, your Huddersfield and your Readings, clubs that have all been in the Premier League in our recent history, would be the unexpected one, but we can use that to our advantage, or could do at least.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all those teams mentioned there, you know, they were forecast to be in and around it, you know, big clubs, big history, to automatically go up or be in the mix. And often, sometimes it's the dark horse that just gets on that run at the right time, that just get into the playoffs, and then they're on that crest of a wave. Everyone's confident, and sometimes the pressure does then become shifts to the teams that are supposed to be up there, and we just coming in there with that flow. You know, we've kind of, you could say you slightly overachieved, but at the end of the day, once you've played that many games, you deserve to be there. And, you know, I think the pressure will be more on those teams and the way we're playing, and if we can just continue this run, you know, we're definitely up there.
We certainly are, and it is of course one game at a time, and that one game tonight is of course Burton on the road, and you can follow that one with us here on Orient Live. Streaming passes are available for fans in overseas territory to watch along with us here, but if you're inside the UK and watching along on our YouTube preview stream, then you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. Right then, before we turn our attention back to the football, let's take a little look at what the club got up to on World Maths Day.
Today, part of the Premier League Primary Stars programme, we had Dylan Markingday and Freddie Norman come down today for our World Maths Day event.
Helping the kids out with a few maths questions. It's been really nice just getting amongst the kids and just seeing what they're up to, and just being involved, and also doing a little competitive maths quiz with one of the pupils at the end. And it was good fun. He beat me 3-2. So yeah, they seem like a bright bunch of kids.
The kid was quite smart, to be fair. Like, he knew his timetables, so I felt sorry for Dylan, because obviously like some of them weren't like easy ones, they were quite hard ones. But yeah, it was good to have like competitiveness, and at the end of the day, it's part of the enjoyment.
Maths is in your everyday life, so I think it's important that these kids are learning and taking, you know, maths seriously, because it is a big thing in today's world. As a footballer, we use it massively. Everything's data-based now these days, so maths is all in all the analysis and stuff like that, so I think that's important.
The kids got set tasks to do around like World Maths Day, and I had to work out squad numbers and stuff that add up to 15, and we sat down there and worked through it and stuff, and helped them out, and overall got to 15. It's about how you can put football into maths and make it fun.
The players were absolutely fantastic. They took part in our maths resources lesson, and ended with Dylan taking on a star pupil in a times table maths challenge. And we had, unfortunately, Dylan didn't come out on winning on this occasion, but what a fabulous occasion. I'd just like to say a big thank you to Leyton Orient Football Club for allowing the players to come down today and be part of this wonderful programme provided by the Premier League Charitable Fund. Representing Greenleaf Primary School, we have
Soul Cans, yeah.
Okay, big round of applause. Big round of applause for Soul. His opponent today is
Dylan Markingday from Leyton Orient.
Okay, off we go. Question 1. 12 times 11. Oh, I think Dylan just got there quickly. What's the answer?
121.
Oh, I'm going to have to pass this one over.
132.
132. The first point goes to... So that's 1-0 to... So, okay. Dominic, plenty to play for. So the score is 1-0. Okay. 8 times 12.
96.
96. So it's 2-0 now. 2. 7 times 4. Oh, I think Dylan just got that one in there, okay. What is 7 times 4?
28.
28, so the score is 2-1. 12 times 7.
84.
84. 11 times 5. Dylan just got in there quickly. 55. So the score today was our Premier League Primary Stars Times Table Challenge was Dylan from Leyton Orient got 2 points, and our winner with 3 points was Sol. Well done to both players. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Excellent.
Top stuff there from the lads in the community. And of course, just to remind you, season cards are now available for next season for the 25-26 campaign. They're now on sale, and existing season card holders can renew, and one Orient members can upgrade to a season card for the new season as well. Prices are frozen for all fans up until 5 p.m. on Friday the 2nd of May, so don't hang about and get signed up and be the difference next season. But now let's turn our attention back to the football. And defensively, we've touched on Dan Happy already tonight, but defensively we've got to be strong. That clean sheet on Saturday is something we can now build on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's good to see Dan back. I think he's, especially in Omar Beckel's absence, I think Dan's that's that solid leader who, he's been at the club a long time. I think he's well respected and obviously very valued by the staff and the other players. So good to have him back. Yeah, and I think it's important. Away from home, you're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to, you're going to have to be solid. You're going to have to defend at times. It's going to be much different from a home game. I think the game against Burton at home earlier in the season was quite comfortable, but I'm sure this is going to be a completely different game. Different points in the season, a lot to play for Burton. They're going to have to be positive. They're going to have to attack and try and score goals to get something from the game, because they need points as well, for different reasons. So yeah, we will have to defend at times. I'm sure we'll have to be solid. I'm not too sure what sort of threats Burton will try and pose, but I'm sure we'll have to make sure we're on our job to keep them up.
And Josh Keeley was really on point last Thursday against Stevenage. Some really good saves in there, and what a first season he's having.
It's unbelievable. It's been fantastic, and it's just a good personality as well. I think he just inspires so much confidence behind the back four, and he's just been that glue ever since he came into the side, and then going on that run with those amazing clean sheets. He's just been ever present. He's got a bit of character about him. He loves it as well. He takes pride in his saves. He takes pride in keeping clean sheets. He's very alert. He's sharp, and from the images we're seeing here. He comes for things, he's alert, he tries to get the attacks going really quickly, and he's sensible, and he's just been a fantastic addition, and what a great first season in senior football for him.
Absolutely, it's such a key position, it's one that he's absolutely taken to, such a young lad as well, but just even coming off his line so quick like this, He's been crucial to the way we play as well, isn't he? Yeah,
he has. I think he's almost the perfect type of goalkeeper for the way Richie kind of sees the game and wants to play. And I think he's got something very unique about him for a keeper, especially a young keeper, where it's hard to almost say exactly what it is, but it's just like a confidence. It's like an intent. Everything he does, I was just watching him there, the way he came and claimed that ball, sprinted out off his line. He's already thinking about what he wants to do with it. Can he start an attack? He just seems to do things with real intent. He's so comfortable stepping off his line, coming outside of his box, and being that extra man in the build-up. His distribution's excellent. Obviously, he's made some brilliant saves at times this season, and he's just so well-rounded, and I don't want to say the word complete because he's still very young and got a lot of developing to do, but he's just. Yeah, he's got a lot of really good attributes for a young keeper, and I think he's had an excellent debut season.
Well, hopefully he can keep Gary Bowyer's Burton Albion out tonight. It's a big job he's got on his hands, and some crucial points that he'll be scrapping for. But let's take a look and see how that home side lines up for this evening's fixture. Starting in goal for Burton is their number 1. It's Max Crocombe. I think it's a back 5 for them this evening with Kyron Lofthouse, Jason Shahar and the captain Ryan Sweeney in the heart of defence, with Udoka, Godwin Malif and Noah Dodson in the fullback positions. Charlie Webster, Kagelo Chuk, John Joshua McKinnon all start in the midfield, with Julian Larson and Ruman Burrell in the attacking positions as well. And on the bench for Burton is Harry Isted, Dylan Williams, Anthony Ford, Jack Armour, Finn Delap, Thomas Kalinaskas and Jack Stretton. So it looks like on paper a potentially defensive performance from them. We've already touched on how they haven't conceded as many as the others around the foot of the table. And if you think back to the game in the first half of the season as well, it's a low-scoring affair. It's going to be a tough test in all areas tonight, isn't it?
It really is, but I mean, what you find with teams at the bottom half of the table is that when they do concede, they are very fragile, and that's when you can really capitalise and they can put up a good fight initially. So we just have to make sure that we're on our game, we match their intensity, and then our game should hopefully take precedent. And then if we can get a goal ahead, then normally, most times the teams in the relegation zone, the heads will kind of go down, and at that moment we can smell blood and really put them to the sword.
That's the thing, isn't it? They've had a handful of wins in the last 10 games or so, but they've beaten the likes of Stevenage, Lincoln and Shrewsbury. Not downplaying those results, but they're all pretty winnable games, and they're probably not in good enough form to really be charging for survival at this point.
No, I think when they have picked up points on one games, they've been at their absolute best, and the reason they are where they are in the table is because they haven't been consistent enough over the course of the season. Unlike Orient, who are in a really good position, have had a strong season, and I think a lot of it at this time of the season it's about mentality, and collectively I feel like we've almost got to go into the game tonight with that arrogance, that confidence to say, look, we can't come away with anything less than a win. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost that simple. And I remember, Jabba, I know you would be the same, where there was games where you just knew between you and your teammates, like there was no other option but to win, or you just had to get a result. And you go into the game and you just, by whatever means necessary, you just have to get the result, don't you? You dig in, you fight, you scrap, you play your football at times, but you know that you're coming away with a win regardless. And I feel that that's almost tonight is one of those games. We just have to. Yeah, we know we're capable. We just have to go out there and get the job done.
Ruman Burrell, their top scorer with 7 goals. There's Elliot Watt and Owen Dodgson, joint top assisters with 4 assists each. Really kind of low numbers for this stage in the season. A team that undoubtedly, obviously due to their position in the table, but a side that struggle for goals.
Yeah, it's evident now. 38 games and top goal scorers and 7 goals and 4 assists as the next highest assist maker. It just shows where they are and why they're there, and it's for us now to capitalise on that. Don't show no mercy and put them to the sword. By hook, by crook, we just need to get the result. But like I said, when you are languishing like that mentally, little things go against you. It plays. And some people, we were 6 games in, some people already on holiday, and the mind's already, resigned to maybe going down, etc. So I think, like I said, we had to put our best foot forward, take care, handle our business, and I think we'll be fine.
These are some of the goals that they have scored in recent weeks. The first one was a nice finish, but I think the more the clips go on, Joe, there's a lot of scrappy goals in there. Not too much quality, it seems, from the home side tonight. And hopefully, if we are strong defensively, we can keep them, hopefully not scoring, but limiting them to any real quality chances as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was an unbelievable strike by them. That was a hell of a goal. But yeah, to score a goal, there has to be good play involved. So I don't want to kind of, that downplay what they're doing. But I think you're seeing a team that's showing fight, probably lacking a bit of quality, especially in the final third, but they look like a few of their goals have come from crosses, set pieces. So I expect that they will try and service the box tonight. Get balls, cross from wide areas and be a threat from set pieces as well.
Hopefully the O's can keep them out this evening. Let's take a look again and remind ourselves, with just under 5 minutes to go into kick-off. Let's remind ourselves of how the O's shape up. Starting in goal is Josh Keeley, and across the back line is Jack Corrie at left back, with Sean Clare on the opposite side of defence. Dan Happy returns from his fairly lengthy injury to partner Romani Edmonds-Green in the heart of defence. Jordan Brown partners the skipper in the heart of midfield, and then ahead of them is Darlan Josimi, Jamie Donnelly and Dan Adji, with Charlie Coleman leading the line. He's so close to 20 goals, can he get there tonight? And on the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, Brandon Cooper, Tom Ball, Sonny Perkins, Dylan Markanday, Ollie O'Neill and Azim Abdullahi. Now, I know we've done a lot of talking, Jabbo, but now's the time where talk means nothing. This is where you've got to go out and do it. Not us, thankfully, but they do.
Yeah, 100%, and I'm sure Richie and Pratley, all the experienced players would be just saying, stay calm. We know our focus, stern focus. We know what we have to go and do. Let's go and do it, boys. And when that's the prize, you're up for it. Deep down inside, you're up for it. You just want to make sure your teammate next to you's up for it, and you're pulling them along in the same direction.
And we'll see on our screens very shortly. We've got Gary Bowyer in the dugout. He's an experienced manager. Burton are scrapping, as we've touched on. Here they're coming out. That scrapping is the word that I think will be potentially used a lot tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure they will show a lot of heart, a lot of desire. A lot of fight. They need to. They're playing at home. Their fans will demand it. I'm sure the manager will demand it as well. But like Jabbo said, for us, it's about being focused. It's about being calm. Showing our quality, showing our playing our football when we need to, fighting and defending, digging in when we need to, look, just coming away with the result.
Well, it looks like a beautiful sunny evening up in Stoke, and it's time now to hand over to our match group team with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. Here we go.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Pirelli Stadium, where the O's are looking to make a little bit of history.